Today we are going to talk about what it means to have a beautiful meditation in the technical sense. Can we define what the beautiful is? Can we systematically let you know what to expect and how to define the beautiful without any mysterious similes or metaphors, mystical, whatever? We don't need to, because we can describe the mystical beauty with a systematic, detailed explanation. It's very technical, actually. And so the beautiful is no longer mysterious. The beautiful can be defined. So let us start. Namo tasse bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhase. Okay. Normally we do this 3 times, but we'll start. So we have a description of samatha meditation. Often teachers talk about it being beautiful. The samatha meditation is where you concentrate on a single object, and we say calming down the mind. But actually, we could say the mind becomes streamlined. The mind is repeatedly going after a single object. Well, there's one object in the mind, and it's repeating again and again and again and again. And when you enter a state of samadhi, it repeats. And the best you can do with a non-attainment state is 7 times. You can repeat on the object continuously for 7 times. It's the best you can do. But when you have a samadhi, when you have samatha, real samatha concentration, sometimes anapana or kasina or whatever, you can go many, 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 many times, repeating on the same object, unbroken and continuously. And when this happens, or even when you get close to it, the early stages just before this, the teachers will say that there's no other way to describe it except for beautiful. And they might make it sound mystical, and they might bring in metaphors and similes that might be interesting, a little strange, but it doesn't really give you much information. It might sound beautiful, but if it just confuses you, and we'll learn about this, then it doesn't give you. It's not beautiful, actually. Now, the problem is that there are many teachers who don't like the commentaries. They don't like the abhidhamma. In mainstream Buddhism, not the Western version, but there are 5 countries that follow Theravada Buddhism. And they will follow the commentaries, and they will follow the abhidhamma. So in the Western world, actually, you're getting taught actually fringe Buddhism, we could say. It's another flavor. It's another version. But the Orthodox Theravada Buddhism follows the commentaries, follows the abhidhamma. There are no mysteries in Theravada. Actually, I had a post on my website, americanmonk.org, if you haven't gone there yet. It's been a little dormant. So is this channel. I had a post about the secret teachings of Theravada. And it was sort of like a joke, actually. It was a lost, lost heading or something like that. Maybe it was clickbait. But really, there are no secrets in Theravada. Everything's written down. You will have the exact instructions on how to get the jhana, the meditative absorptions, what to see along the way, what are the literal signs, the nimittas, the types of signs you'll see along the way, literally. And they also talk about the mental factors that you'll see, you'll be able to recognize along the way as well. There are only clear descriptions in Theravada. And that's why it has survived for a long time. There's one book, and this book is a, how do we say, like a summary that was written way later, okay, yeah. But it's a summary of the teachings of the abhidhamma. It's called the Abhidhammata Sangaha, a comprehensive manual of abhidhamma, translated by Bhikkhu Bodhi. You can download it for free, and you can get all the information plus a lot more that we're talking about tonight. So we talk about mental factors. So there's a consciousness moment, and that consciousness moment has ingredients to it. And these ingredients are called mental factors. So you hear me talking about mental factors, you'll hear me talking about chittas. If you're angry, that's a chitta. If you're having a happy time with knowledge, and during a time of donation, let's say, this is a wholesome chitta with knowledge and joy. So there are different types of consciousnesses. There's different types of, we could say, mind that occurs. And there are mental ingredients to each mental mind state. And they all arise and pass away together. You know, if you have a video of myself, okay? So we have, a video is just a series of pictures, right? And a picture is actually a picture is actually just a bunch of pixels, right? It's a bunch of, you have resolution, right? So many megapixels, whatever. And, each frame arises and passes away. And when the picture arises, so do the pixels arise. And when it goes away, the pixels go away as well, together, right? And we can have like a soup. We could have soup, and we could have bean soup, okay? And we also have different types of bases, right? We have a cream-based soup, cream of mushroom soup, cream of broccoli soup. Might have like a hot soup, bean soup. something like that. We have main ingredients, and then we have other ingredients that affect the other ingredients also. But we'll get back to that later. So we have common universals that are always, we have common ingredients, we could say, like a base ingredients that are always in every single chitta. Chitta is consciousness. I'm going to use the word chitta though. And we and we always have. So if there are always they're common to all types of chittas, whether they're wholesome or unwholesome, they're always going to have this group. And then there's another group that's always present when we have unwholesome mind states. Okay? And then there's another group that we have that are always found in wholesome mind states. Okay? So like if you're baking a cake, you know, you're going to have your basic ingredients. I don't know how to bake a cake, but I don't know. It's like flour, baking soda or something like that, baking powder, salt, right? And sugar, right? We can call that like a cake base, maybe an egg or something like that. And then you add other ingredients like chocolate, strawberry flavor, or whatever. But you have like a base for a cake. You know, if you want to make a soup, you're going to have water, you're going to have, you know, salt, you're going to have maybe some beans or something like that for a bean soup or something like that. And if you're going to be making like a cream of broccoli or something like that soup, you're going to have, I don't know, whatever gives it that creamy thing, you know, like a milk or cream. And you have different things to give it these characteristic things. In the same way, we have the universals, the universal ingredients for all types of chittas, wholesome or unwholesome. We have the universal, unwholesome group that are found in every unwholesome mind. And then we have the universal, beautiful mental factors, which are found in every wholesome state of mind. They are called sobhana sadharana. Sobhana sadharana. So anywhere there's a wholesome mind, you're going to find these beautiful mental factors, this group of them. There are other ones, like karuna. It's separate. It's, you know, you add that to it. It's like a cake and you add the chocolate, something like that. It's called sobhana sadharana. These are the beautiful universals found in every single wholesome state of mind. These mental factors will be present in every wholesome state of mind. Now, surely during meditation, you can have an unwholesome mind and you can have a wholesome mind. Right? That's why we call them the hindrances. So you can have thoughts about someone you've been involved with or you want to be involved with, you know, have a lustful mind. You can have thoughts about things that you don't like or people you don't like. This is an angry mind. And you can have wandering thoughts. You can be meditating, you can be sitting, say, Bhante, I can meditate for 1 hour. How's your concentration though? You need to meditate and have a wholesome mind and a concentrated mind. it doesn't matter actually what you, even, you can sit for an hour. You have to have concentration. You say, oh, I saw this, I saw that, or whatever. But in the end, the teacher wants to know whether you can control your mind. That's what's important. You see this flash of light, or you see light that sticks around, actually. You see this image, that image, whatever. But it only happens just for a split second. Where you're thinking all the time. Like driving. Like you're driving and you're thinking about this and that, and you're watching the road. Meditation is about concentration, especially the samatha. It's directing the mind and putting it on a single object. The goal of meditation is actually wisdom, but a precursor is concentration. And so you want to have a wholesome mind. You want to have a wholesome mind, and you want to develop wisdom after you develop concentration. After you streamline, I like that word, to streamline your meditation. You're focusing on one object. You have a white circle on your phone, your computer screen. In samatha concentration, we would say like you have a refresh rate. Sometimes we say it's calm, but it's streamlined, and it's repeating again and again and again on the same object. If your screen refreshes 120 times per second, 120 hertz, it doesn't matter like how busy the movie you're watching is, or whether you're watching a still picture. Do you understand? You have 120 hertz refresh rate. You can show the same object again and again and again, 120 times per second. Or you can show motion and designs or whatever. Those are also going 120 times per second. So when we say we're calming down the mind, we're streamlining. It is calm in some sense, but we call it one-pointedness concentration. Sometimes we say it's oneness of mind, but it's one object, one objectness. The mind is on one object. Again and again and again. And you want to develop a wholesome mind. As part of this process, you want to develop wisdom as well. Wisdom is a wholesome, when you have a mind that has, we say jnana sampayutta, that includes wisdom, it's already a wholesome mind. Wisdom is like the cherry on top. But the base is a wholesome mind. And samatha also is a wholesome mind. Well, in the sense of jhana, you can have concentration on negative, you can be negatively concentrated, but not with jhana, actually. So you want to develop a wholesome mind, and that wholesome mind is going to be beautiful. You want to have a wholesome mind in all cases, and you want to have a beautiful mind in all cases. And so it's strange, people might say, Bhante, I have tension, Bhante, I'm too stiff, Bhante, I'm stressed, I feel this tightness, I feel sluggish, I feel tired, I'm restless. I don't know if I can do this, I don't believe in myself, you might say. You might say, I have anger, I'm angry at this person. You don't really say it with a smile, but you say, oh, I'm angry. You might have emotional lust coming to you. You might have memories coming again and again. Do these sound beautiful? Do these sound like they're in tune with the mental factors that we would call beautiful? No, they're unwholesome. Later we can talk about the qualities that we'll find with an unwholesome mind, the mental ingredients. So what are the beautiful cetasikas, the universal, beautiful mental factors? Don't you wish I just said this in the beginning? That's not how I do things. I talk a lot. So we have faith, we have mindfulness, moral shame, fear of wrongdoing, non-greed, non-hatred. Non-hatred can be loving kindness. There's a word for, we say equanimity sometimes. We can say equanimity for the next one. But actually it's called like balance of mind. Tacha manjatata. Balance of mind. Bodily tranquility, mental tranquility. I'll get into the difference between bodily and mental, but these are only with the mind. Even though we say body, it's only the mind. It's mental factor. They're all mental factors, not physical factors. So we have bodily tranquility, mental tranquility, bodily lightness and mental lightness, bodily malleability, mental malleability, bodily wieldiness and mental wieldiness, bodily proficiency, mental proficiency, and lastly, bodily uprightedness and mental uprightedness. These are the 19 cetasikas called the sobhana. Sobhana, the beautiful mental factors. One of my teachers, the sobhana means beautiful, yeah. One of my teachers in Sri Lanka, we call him Migoda Bhante, but his Pali name is Bhante Sangha Sobhana. So, what do we have here? So we have faith, okay, and we have mindfulness and moral shame and fear of wrongdoing and non-greed, non-hatred, balance of mind. And what I want to do is, I'm going to just take this bottle, okay? And I want you to pretend that I'm like one of these, jugglers. You ever see those? They go like this, and they can make the ball, sort of appear like it's floating, right? And moving and streamlined, okay? So I'm not able to do that, okay? But I'm gonna just hold this bottle and I'm gonna just twist it, okay? Now, suppose I grab it like this and I really squeeze hard and I crunch it and whatever. Is that beautiful? No. It's not beautiful at all. But if I was, if I had a bottle that I was lightly holding and balancing it, and I had precision, okay, then you would say that it's more beautiful this way. So just like a performer who does beautiful things, okay, maybe like a ballerina or maybe one of those jugglers who takes the ball and they can make it look like it's floating or something. Yeah. And so they have the confidence, faith, okay? They have the mindfulness. And they're aware of what they're doing all the time. They're always doing skillful things and at the same time. The mental factors happen at the same time, just like pixels of a picture, right? Keep that in mind. So we have confidence, faith. This is the same thing. Faith and confidence are the same. Mindfulness, okay? And then we say moral shame and fear of wrongdoing. This is hiriotapa. These are the protectors of the world. And so inwardly there's a disgust of not making a mistake, we could say. Not doing something wrong. And there's the fear of the consequences, outwardly also, of doing something wrong. Fear of wrongdoing. Can you understand how the beautiful performer does things? Having all these qualities in every moment, right? Then there's non-greed and non-hatred. Again, you will see that he has a balance of mind because he's done this so many times. So many times. He's so skilled. And he can just make it be very beautiful. Right? So we have faith, mindfulness, moral shame, fear of wrongdoing, non-greed, non-hatred, and balance of mind, equanimity. It's balance of mind. Then we have bodily tranquility, mental tranquility. Let's just talk about the property itself, and then we'll talk about how it affects everything else. So we have tranquility, we have lightness, we have malleability. Malleability is like, a gold, it can move. You can bend it into the shape and it moves there. And then we have wieldiness. It's like if you have a knife or a sword, you can move it through the air. Proficiency, like being well practiced and well skilled in what you do. And uprightedness. Uprightedness is like moral. It's not crooked. When you're, we could say it's not bending, not wavering, and one is upright. Can you see if I was one of these, jugglers who can make a ball float in the air, a single ball? You ever see that before? You'll see that they're very calm while they do things. They have a little bit of lightness to them, right? And they're able to form whatever they're doing at will, every moment. Malleability. And they're able to move things with wieldiness, right? And they're well practiced, proficient. They have uprightness. So all the time, all these factors are happening at the same time. Now, what is bodily tranquility and mental tranquility? So suppose we have a cake. Okay, we have all the dry ingredients, and then slowly you add the wet ingredients, right? You have your flour, the salt, the sugar, right? And then slowly you add water or milk or whatever. Now, water is the ingredient, right? Water is the ingredient, but when you mix it, water is an ingredient, but it affects all the other ingredients, right? So when we say the body, it's like a collected mental factors. And when we say the mental tranquility, it's that single ingredient. Can you understand that? I hope you can. If you think of it that way, but remember, when it's bodily tranquility, it's not the body. Okay? It's it affects the other mental factors. So it's very important to understand that. And so those are the 19 mental factors that are characteristical of what is beautiful. And if you don't have those, and if you're going like this, most of the time you're going like this, you have to ask yourself, is my mind beautiful? Is my mind beautiful? If you can ask that all the time, if you want to be mindful, practicing mindfulness meditation, you have to be beautiful. If mindfulness is there, all of the other 18 mental factors will be there. So you should study these mental factors. Because if you want to be mindful, you might think you're being mindful. I'm mindfully angry. You have to understand that if you want to practice mindfulness, then you're going to have the other 18, total 19, sobhana cetasikas. And hopefully you'll have wisdom too. And when you have the opposites, okay, the akusala is much shorter. It's much easier to learn. Normally we teach the akusala, the unwholesome universals. We teach that first because it's easy. But actually, the opposite of all of these would be ugly, and you would see these. Okay, if you have the opposite of these, you want to be beautiful all the time. Where you're lacking, you want to increase. You want to know when you have a concentrated mind, know when you have a beautiful mind. It's very simple, and when you think about it in those terms, you can ask yourself, is my mind light? Is my mind not light? Is it heavy? Is it unbalanced? Am I shameless? Is it calm? Or is it turbulent? You can understand your mind. You can understand what is beautiful. We don't need any crazy similes and metaphors to know what is beautiful. It's all there. It's all right in front of you. Now, people who learn the abhidhamma, they say, oh, it's just a bunch of lists. It's the valley of dry bones. There's a reason why we have these lists. because they're realities that happen all the time. A chemist, whatever, he's got to know the lists. He's got to know the atomic weights, and he's got to know the, what do you call it, the how many electrons are in each element, etc. Electrons or protons. The atomic weight is also related to that. I don't know chemistry so much. But we have lists, and you have to know these. You can generally know them, because if you focus on a few of them, then the other ones are going to be present as well. Because they arise at the same time, they pass away at the same time. They arise, there's three states, arising, standing, and passing away, ceasing. And you just have to know a few of them, actually. But you can know all of them, it's good. And you can try to understand. Now, even though I said that they are mental only, but they can pass through to the physical body. The mind can obviously affect the body, mind-body connection. But when you're meditating, it's all mind. You want to understand that meditation is mental only. It's very important. You don't want to get stuck trying to see if you feel good. Did you notice that there's nothing about really feeling? Even when we say equanimity, it's not upekkha, not one of the three types of feelings. Pleasant, unpleasant, and equanimous feeling. Neither pleasant nor unpleasant. It's not that. It's tattva majja tattva. It's a balance of mind. So the beautiful mental factors, we don't focus on the feeling. The feeling is actually universal. Every single chitta has feeling. So every chitta actually has ekaggata, one-pointedness of mind. But it's different than the jhana, actually. Because there's only one object per moment. But there are universals. There are 7 universals. We can talk about that later. But now you know what the sobhana cetasikas are. And if possible, when you know that you're having that, you can add wisdom. You can know that you're doing wholesome kammas. And I hope that you can use this knowledge of the wholesome mind to develop concentration. And with that concentration, be able to know mind and matter and its causes. And then to understand the causes to the fullest. And to move away from those causes. And to see the cessation so that you can reach Nibbana safely and quickly. So sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.